Aussie.
Okie dokie, there we go. And Thursday night, almost Friday, basically the weekend. Actually, I'm on holidays, so it's all blurring. Also, I'm not going anywhere because of the absolutely rampant number of COVID cases. So any day could be any day because nothing means anything. This is the world we live in now, where things mean less day by day. Yes, so and here I am, nothing better to do than to laugh at Djokovic. Fucking piece of shit. I hate people who think the rules don't apply to them. They're above everything. And also, fuck Scott Morrison for trying to big note himself with this too. Absolute fucking piece of shit that he is. It's interesting. I'm looking at the latest. Novak Djokovic is apparently appealing the ruling because, yes, it would, appearing at the Open would be worth just an astonishing amount of money to him. So I'm not surprised, but I think he's in shitty hotel quarantine at the moment, which is freaking hilarious, that he has to be in a shitty hotel room. The longer he is subjected to things that he thinks are beneath him, the happier I'll be. Hello, Lee. How are you doing? I'm thinking out loud to myself, basically. I'm drinking Swedish punch, which I made. Key components are rum that's had citrus steeped in it and a tea syrup. And it's nice. You've got all these different tastes. I'm somewhat tempted, if I ever make it again, and that is a big if, but if I ever make it again, I may clarify the tea, because tea, particularly when you make it strong, as I did for this, it can be, you get the bitter tannins and you get a slightly bitter taste. I think it'd get rid of the bitterness if I clarified it before turning it into a sugar syrup. Maybe. I don't know if I'll ever make it again. Who knows? Yes, Lee. Hopefully Djokovic will lose his appeal because he's a fucking piece of shit. Dr. Abigail, hello. A reference that I am not getting. But then again, lots of things get past me, so it's not that surprising. So the thing about this Swedish punch, I think, for me at least, the more of it I drink, the nicer it tastes. It's greeting in Romulan. There you go. As I said, got by me. But then again, lots of things do get by me, that is. Invisible Chicken, hello. How are you this evening? We're almost the end of the first week of 2022. Sucks so far. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. Yes, Musical About I imagine you are not far off your LARP stuff being curtailed, gathering in groups seems like a bad idea at the moment. But I've got my superpowers. Got my booster. Got a Moderna shot a couple of days ago, 2 days ago to be precise. And it's still there. Unlike the it's probably not going to show up. Well, I think it kind of is. It's kind of a red area at the injection. I think that is showing up. Red area, and it's tender still 2 days later at the injection site. That didn't happen with the AstraZeneca. I mean, the injection site, any sort of injection site, because the needle's puncturing your muscles, kind of feels like someone punched you when they do it. But this one's a bit more so. Again, Jesus Christ, if that's the biggest drama I face in this fucking ridiculous world we have at the moment, I will count myself lucky if that's the biggest drama I face. Also, I was quite tired on Wednesday. As anyone who's here for the Tuesday night stream, I think I was clearly more tired than usual. It got to the point where 10 minutes before I'd normally finish, I couldn't see any point in continuing going. So I finished 10 minutes early because I was really tired. I remained tired all through Wednesday, and I've been fine today. So yeah, I didn't feel sick as such. Like with the AstraZeneca dose 1, the night I woke up from sleep and I was shivering and really weak and felt bad, but that only lasted a couple of hours. I didn't get that at all. I just got tiredness in this. So music over. You're going to keep planning. Like government took a month off. Everything's fine. So you're LARPing tomorrow, buying some extra shirts and pants shoes next week. Starting to go. Okay. If the government changes things, so be it. I don't know what official changes they might make that might affect you. OG Jackie, you've never seen me angry before. I do get angry on the streams sometimes. I'm not motivated enough to be angry at Djokovic. He's just a fucking piece of shit. So I suppose actually that makes me angry at him, saying things like that. But I can't quite get worked up at him. But he's just an awful combination of he's clearly an anti-vaxxer and he's lying about being an anti-vaxxer. It's one thing. It's like bigots. Someone who's openly a bigot is awful and unconscionable. But the ones who are obviously a bigot and try and conceal it, think they're successfully concealing it and deny it when you point out they're a gross fucking bigot. They really piss me off. They piss me off more than the open bigots. And people like Djokovic, who are obviously anti-vaxxers, who are obviously promoting the ridiculous disinformation that we've been getting since the start of this pandemic. But trying to pretend that's not what they're doing. Fuck those people. I mean, fuck anti-vaxxers too. Fuck the conspiracy idiots. But fuck the people who won't even be honest about what they are. If you're going to be a piece of shit, at least own it. That's what I say. Because you're a worse piece of shit when you're obviously a piece of shit. Everyone knows you're a piece of shit, and you don't even have the courage of your convictions because you're a fucking weasel. You're a shit weasel. And who knows whether or not his father's been misquoted or not, but the media quotes from his father. His father's a fucking fruitcake. So, yeah, just privileged people who think things don't apply to them. Fuck them. That's what I say. Fuck them. So, it is what it is. I think if I've been doing anything interesting recently, because I was really fucking wasted yesterday, so I watched a couple movies and watched a bunch of TV. Finally watched the Doctor Who New Year's Eve thingy, which was not bad. Does have that Chris Chibnall thing of explaining what's going on rather than showing what's going on. There's a term with screenwriting that's often pushed as like rule number one, or one of the top rules is show, don't tell. Show people what's happening rather than tell them what's happening, because it's a visual medium. Chris Chibnall's writing on Doctor Who. He has a very big tendency to have the Doctor in particular do extended monologues to tell you what's happening rather than just showing you what's happening. I don't hate his work on Doctor Who. I try not to be too negative, but he does do that. Aussie Gun Bunny, hello. How you doing, man? But yes, in terms of criticizing Chibnall for his writing, saying that he does those monologues of exposition rather than showing you, so breaking the rule, show, don't tell, that's a valid criticism. And yes, well, musical Aveda, yeah, the ending of Flux, bizarre, disjointed, weird, yeah. And also not explained, because the entire universe had been destroyed apart from Earth, but then not. I don't know. That was surreal. How's it going? You're in ISO. Thanks to a 5-day wait for COVID test results. Positive another 7 days. Dang. Oh well. We'll say if you end up being positive, at least you got it out of the way. Because I just kind of feel like we're all going to get COVID in the next year or two. So, yes, Abigail, you're confused a lot during the Flux episodes. Yeah. I kind of liked that they were trying something bigger, but and again, the ending was surreal. It was like, wait, did the universe end? I didn't see the Doctor do anything to reverse the end of the universe. What the fuck? Anyway, Salumi, hello. Aussie Gunman, it is true. It's perfectly possible to get COVID more than once, not least because of the multiple variants. And apparently Omicron in particular is a no respecter of people who have had COVID previously. So that's why I got the booster, because that's apparently the best defense against Omicron. So far better defense than having had COVID before. Plus, if you do contract the virus, the available evidence is it's super good protection against serious illness and death. So, yay. I feel protected. I've only had it for 2 days, and I think it takes up to 2 weeks to get full steam ahead. But, you know, the tiredness yesterday, I think that was my body rerouting auxiliary power to the shields, as it were, using all my usual mental, or a significant part of my usual mental and physical energy to create antibodies. So I was just tired all day. I even had a nana nap. I watched the John Carpenter classic They Live, which was a great bit of 80s cheeseball sci-fi. And I watched a more recent movie called Hotel Artemis, which is a sort of high concept crime movie, secret hotel where criminals go to get patched up, and there's one night when everything goes wrong. It was okay. It's nothing great. How's it going, buddy? 2 months before your booster. I have not caught up with Eva since she's been back. And at the moment, I'm just not socializing. I don't think she's socializing a lot either, but I know I'm not. So, Celine, you got yours on the 29th, spent the 30th in bed, took until late on the first for your shoulder to stop aching. I was showing everyone a bit earlier. There's still a red mark around the injection site, and it's quite tender. I was very tired yesterday, the day after I got the booster. Basically fine today, apart from tender injection site. And hi, Chris. Oh. So, yeah. Yes. And as I said, if that's the worst I suffer for the protection provided by the booster, I'm doing okay. So, Mrs. Angry said she had the same thing with the booster, actually, tired the day after, and the red mark around the injection site, and it was tender for a couple of days. Oh, that's interesting, Salumi. No mark, but your whole shoulder and side and neck was sore for days. So I definitely don't have that. Just this little red area, and the injection site is tender. The arm doesn't hurt as such. It's just the injection site is quite sensitive. Ooh, I have to tell Aidsy. He wanted to join us. God damn it. I'm going to send him the link and then tell him I sent him the link. If I can find my phone. Where the fuck did I put my phone? Send. All right, sent him the link. All right, my phone must be in the next room. I'm just going to forget it so I can tell Aidsy I sent him the link. I was correct. My phone was in the other room. Doo-da. Doo-da. Ah. All right. So it's like your reaction to a lot of flu vaccines just lasted longer. Okay. Might be the way your body reacts while it's creating antibodies. Sent you the link. Alrighty, so we may or may not see Aidsy, and it may be 30 seconds from now or 30 minutes from now. We shall see. Yeah, Silmy has the first week of 2020 been 2022. Got the booster, which was a plus. Not much else. Had some nice ramen for dinner tonight. That was a high point of 2022 so far. Oh, nice. Abigail's had snuggle time. That's pretty good. So, Music Ayurveda, he moved your booster to next Wednesday because he had a vet same thing he wanted to do on Tuesday. He didn't want to be sore after a jab the same morning. Fair call. I was going to have a dentist appointment and booster appointment on the same day, but I moved the booster by a week. Now I've still got the dentist appointment next Monday, assuming nothing really wild happens and they start saying, don't go to the dentist. So the immune system's not good at being an immune system. So you're happy with how you've pulled up overall with COVID jabs. That's nice. Goodness gracious me. So, all right, that's Aidsy sending a text message back. Technical difficulties. Okay, again, that means Aidsy might be here in a minute. He might be here in an hour. He might not be here at all. Or he might be here and have technical problems and it not work properly. We will see how that goes. Oof, Sloomy had a bad mental health down the first. Had a significant increase in both mental and physical well-being. Well, that's nice. No, feeling isolated is not good for brain chemicals. What else have I been doing? I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, which is fun. Just going around, seeing the countryside and killing things. Oh gosh, I could imagine your work's being understaffed, people on leave, isolating, waiting for COVID results. Yeah, well, the new government rule is, just don't get tested. Just don't. That's silly talk. Why get tested? Why isolate? No, just don't. Everyone just keep working. It's redonkulous. That's why we're getting this exponential increase in cases. It's like fortnight ago, 2,000 cases in Melbourne. Today, 22,000. I was like, great. Which I guess is technically not exponential, but it's greater than linear. So what the fuck's going to happen in the next month or two? Who knows? Who fucking knows? Just take Uncle Angry's tip. Don't get sick or injured in the next 2 months. Because if you can possibly stay away from hospitals, you want to stay away from hospitals. So that's my top tip. Don't get seriously ill or injured in the next 2 months. Yes, that's the short version, Sulimi. Shit's fucked up, yo. Tis very fucked. And it's just hilarious to me. Scott Morrison's managed to fuck up yet again. It's like he's fucked up literally every stage of this pandemic. And who knew he had more opportunities to fuck up? But he did, with a complete failure to prepare for adequate testing. He's such a fucking dick. Aussie Gun Bunny become addicted to adult graphic novels. Reading one runs you a Van Wilder's party liaison. Nice. I'm a big fan of the comics since Sandman in the 90s. Robert Kirkman, the guy who created The Walking Dead, does some good ones, writes some good ones. And there's one comic writer I particularly like, Ed Brubaker. Writes a lot of crime ones. In fact, he has a series. He has a really regular collaboration with this artist, Sean Phillips, and they're awesome. The series, and then they've done actually a whole bunch of graphic novels, but they also have a series called Criminal, which just tells stories of these interlocking criminals, and it crosses generations. So some of the stories are 20 or 30 years apart, because it's telling the story of different generations of criminals. They're very good. Hellion, hello, Kirsten. Music video of a friend / occasional crush working in aged care. Oh, God. Yeah, no. Trying to book a date with her. Yeah, someone who works in aged care. Oh, Jesus. They would just be so stressed at the moment, too. So very, very stressed. Invisible Chicken, I've never read Umbrella Academy. I watched the series on Netflix, which I enjoyed, but I never read the comic. Aussie God Money's comic's called Delta Iota Kappa, aka being a dick. It's like choose your own adventure with lots of adult humor and porn. Oh, well, that sounds like an excellent combination. Okay, so Liam, you've read previously Umbrella Academy. Want to get back into it? Yeah, because that was originally published ages ago, wasn't it? And speaking of comic adaptations, I did watch season 1 of Why the Last Man, which I enjoyed. They updated the story to bring in lots of Trumpiness, which was appropriate. But yeah, it's it's very interesting. It's kind of like Wheel of Time getting adapted by Prime, an old long-running book series. It's like the streaming services have just gone, yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to get successful long-running books or comic series and adapt them because they're just doing more and more of them. Because it's basically like, oh, well, it's a story that worked with an audience. It's tried and tested material. But even for successful comics, the audience for successful comics is tiny compared to a TV audience, a streaming audience. So they reach a whole new audience. If they do a good job, they keep fans of the original happy. And they get a new audience for the material. That's what I should do. Sorry, I just got distracted. A little bit of futzing around, squeezing some limes today to get some fresh lime juice. Yes, that silly me. I think that's a reason a lot of people got the comics when they first came out, being an emo and a My Chemical Romance fan, given that they were written by the dude from My Chemical Romance. Oh, that was me drinking water, being good. 8:30. Hey, Safa, I am basically good today. I don't know. I might still be slightly lower energy than I normally am, but not much. You know, went out and did a couple things today. Made a video which didn't really work, so that kind of sucked. So I don't think I'll put a video up tomorrow. I was going to do a short for Elvis's birthday, and I tried to layer a shot and failed really badly. So c'est la vie, I guess. Kirsten, what whiskey did I get? I got a Balcones single malt. So that's Texas whiskey, aged in European oak barrels, and it's actually a single barrel. It's like 50-something%. And I got two weird American whiskeys in the last week, which is very unusual. I've only been like buying. Well, I got one thing of Scotch, one Irish whiskey. Then I mainly get Australian whiskies. But these ones were on special and they're a bit unusual. So I got a rye, which is made in Utah, and the single malt from Texas, which is pretty wild. It's on the nose. Is absolutely. It's like it smells like Mr. Black. It's like coffee and burnt toffee. Didn't really taste like coffee, but I did a side by side with that and the Starwood Octave Barrel and Tiny Bear single malts. They're all 50% or above. I think my favorite out of those is actually Tiny Bear. It's not as complex. Depends what you're in the mood for, I think. Because the Octave Barrel is a lot more complex. It's got more going on than Tiny Bear. So I think it depends on what your mood is. Abigail did a D&D game. Had to sleep all day. Chronic fatigue. Yes. Fuck it. Yep. Safa, your sister does have COVID. Asymptomatic. Boyfriend went from 4 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Omicron does seem to have a much lower hospitalization rate, even for people who aren't fully vaccinated. It's a different story if you aren't fully vaccinated, but yeah, I just know Actually, honestly, if I was, had the symptoms and tested, I'd probably feel a bit still, just because the possibility of stuff going south. He was rat positive. Well, again, depending how long ago the second dose was, but they're both overwhelmingly likely to be fine. So Kirsten Holiday husband's very spendy. Came home with a boot of booze. Nice. I rearranged things slightly here and ended up with a free shelf on my drinks cart because I put the glassware somewhere else, and it's almost full. I mean, I could get serious and fit half a dozen more bottles, I suppose. I actually need to do a rearranging of bottles. I might do. I'm not going to do it tonight, obviously. Might do it another time. Get some consistency with where stuff is, because I had some consistency and then I moved stuff around and it's not consistent anymore. So his second one was a few months ago. I mean, yeah, again, they're overwhelmingly likely to be fine. Maybe get a bit sick, but the vaccination just improves your odds so much. So it was really funny getting the booster. It was the same feeling I had getting the first two doses. It's like, okay, it's finally happening. Get there just before getting it, just a little bit of apprehension, and which is just partly because how is the needle going to hurt? Because I'm such a fucking wuss with needles. And the pharmacist who gave me the jab was really good. I basically didn't feel a thing. Just a little when it first went in, but that was it. And because I was even thinking the fucking syringe looked really long, and it just made me a bit, and went in, done, and then it was just this huge relief, even a little bit of euphoria of that's done. That is absolutely done. It's such a relief. Safa, no chills. I was just tired. I was tired yesterday. I was like trying to pretend I wasn't for a while, and then it was just like, oh no, I just got like no motivation, no energy, just physically and mentally. Happy Veganuary. Djokovic is in isolation. He's in hotel quarantine at the moment. He's in detention, basically. His visa was cancelled, which means he'd be thrown out of the country, but he's appealing the visa cancellation, which means he's being held in a really shitty hotel room, which is fucking hilarious, quite honestly. That's an accurate description, Abigail. My chills were not multiplying and I was not losing control. So if you reckon there's a second tennis player looking into, oh, Djokovic is just a fucking piece of shit. He's a shithead. Just with his ridiculous fucking anti-vax bullshit and rules don't apply to me, and fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I fucking dislike anti-vaxxers so much. Dislike anti-vaxxers so much, I'm gonna have a martini. Oh, it's so much easier to get my glassware now, particularly the martini glasses. I was always a bit nervous about getting them out because they're quite delicate. And I was always worried I was going to break them. I just had a mini freak out then. I thought, oh my God, what if I'm being too blasé when I pick it up and I drop it or smash it? That would be ridiculous. All right, freezer martini. Don't know what I've had. Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 stuck in my head for a while, but I have. I might even put a twist of lemon in that. A lemon just here, which I'm just going to wash before I... Right, get me a peeler. Very appealing. Oh, hopefully nothing goes wrong with this and I don't slice myself. Hey, Raiders. Oh, that'd be good, Raiders. We sent him to Manus Island. He can have a tennis court there. Abigail, I've inspired you to make a cocktail. Well, that's good. Aussie Tech vlogged. Hello. Great news. Your brother finally had a kidney transport. Nice. That's an excellent start to 2022. That's excellent. Safa, what's worse, beer or vodka? Taste is a subjective thing, and so there's no absolute truth to that. But the unequivocal answer is beer. I just fucking hate beer. Can't drink it at all. Vodka's just nothing. I mean, unless you're drinking it straight, then there's something to be said for it. But like vodka in cocktails is just nothing. I got no time for nothing. Okay, I feel like that lemon peel was a bit fucking much. Okay. Aussie Tech, we're on the same page. I hate beer too. Kirsten, having an AFD. No, you're going to have to tell me what an AFD is. Yes, Invisible Chicken. You drink non-alcoholic drinks anyway. Don't know where you're coming from with that happy veganuary. Barnesy said cold chisel was originally called orange, but changed to cold chisel because it lost appeal. You love the topic. Oh, yeah, I've just been shitting on Djokovic all night. Fuck that guy. So that peel, which is normally to my taste, was just... No, it's fucked up the drink. I'm going to be unhappy. It's delayed till Monday, is it, Aussie Tech? But he's still in detention, is he? Okay, it's made it too bitter. I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to put some sweet vermouth in. Where is it? Actually, what is it? What the fuck is it? I've got some weird blindness happening. It's Nocturne. Where's the fucking Red Night Classic? Okay, I've gone gaga. What the fuck? Is it there? It's not already opened it. Oh, something's gone wrong with my brain, honestly. All right, I wasn't going to put this one in, but now I am. Now I'm having a red martini. Okay, that's weird. Oh, God. Henry said Jimmy Barnes actually said that in an interview. Jesus. So, Aussie Tech, a quote from the media. Novak Djokovic will remain in the country as he challenges the Australian government's decision to cancel his visa, with appeal set to be heard in Federal High Court on Monday. You want to? This is a lockdown purchase, that fridge. Or do you just mean a fridge like with the booze in it that I've got in there? It's not all booze. Okay, now that's weird. Oh, okay. That is really weird. I was sure I had another bottle of vermouth, and it isn't there, and I'm very confused. Admittedly, I'm actually pretty easy to confuse. Ozzy, you got two fridges. One doesn't work. The other one hardly has anything in it. Yeah, I mean, I needed more fridge space, and that is a lot bigger than the fridge it replaced. I used to have a little freezer, which probably had slightly more, maybe slightly more capacity than the freezer on this one. But the fridge on this has much more capacity. Plus, it's so much more energy efficient. This will like pay for itself in 2 years with savings on energy bills. I was going to get a job and fill yours with booze. Yeah. Well, I have a missing bottle of vermouth at the moment, which is a very weird thing to go missing. I'm going to have to look again. I'm going to have my drink, which is now very weird. Fuck this lemon, honestly. Lemon fucked up my drink. I want to put something sweeter in my martini when I make it. I top it up. Had to borrow toilet paper off your ex-wife. There's none left on shelves in any shops near you. Yeah, as soon as I saw media reports like in the last 36 hours. Oh, stuff's missing off shelves. I went, oh God. Panic buying again. It's like, because it comes a self-fulfilling prophecy. There is some logistical problems, delays in getting some stuff on shelves. Then some people see that and panic. And then the media reports some people are panicking. And then everyone who wasn't panicking goes, I have to buy a bunch of shit because all the fuckwits who are panicking. So I'm a big fan of lemon, generally. I'm definitely not a fan of that lemon specifically. That lemon. Well, that became a really substandard experience, about which I'm quite disappointed. Yes, people need months of toilet paper if they test positive. No, it's not. Well, it's not sour. Sour lemon juice is fine. It's I squeeze the oil on and rub the thing, and that's too bitter, and it's fucked up the taste of the drink, which is why I added some sweet vermouth, which is why it's now red. So now it's just weird. So it's gone from I always really enjoy my freezer martini to this is now a substandard experience. I'm really pissed off about. Ozzy, you love Scotch. So you think what's the best Scotch cocktail? Okay, and you'd know this. I'm not telling you anything. Huge variance in Scotches, basically. So it's really going to come down to the type of Scotch you have. Like the really smoky ones, they tend to be like a little additive. But there's a couple of sort of archetypal Scotch cocktails, I suppose. The penicillin is a big one. Penicillin's a very big one. The Blood and Sand is another big one. A Bobby Burns. Those are probably the biggest Scotch cocktails, actually. But you can find some pretty wild ones just by searching online. I was just looking up Scotch cocktails. I think I already said the big ones. Going through. Yeah. Oh, Naughty Charles. I made a Naughty Charles recently. That's a good one. Actually, it's a Rob Roy. I knew there was another hero of Scotland one. A Rob Roy. It's like a Scotch version of a Manhattan. A Naughty Charles, which I admit I first tried because of the name, because it's a funny name. It's actually pretty good. It's Scotch, a cherry liqueur or cherry brandy, white creme de cacao, dry vermouth bitters. It's actually quite good. Sebastian on Facebook, you like a sour? Yes, whiskey sour is one of my favorite. Don't normally make that with Scotch, but you can. Yeah, Aussie Jack, the Blood and Sand is very popular. It's like from the early 20th century. And it's Scotch, cherry brandy, cherry liqueur, sweet vermouth, sweet red vermouth, and orange juice. I'm not a huge fan of orange juice in cocktails. I think it tends to overpower them. But Blood and Sand is a very popular one. But yeah, Blood and Sand is one of the most popular Scotch cocktails. Reputedly made in the 20s, named after a Rudolph Valentino movie about a bullfighter. Ooh, you posted a picture of your drink on Discord. I need to see that from Abigail. Dun, 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 dun. Interesting that they chose to call a communications platform Discord. Abigail layered a drink with science. I had a go at layering a shot today, something at which I am very bad, and it did not work very well. Safa, what's the guy in Great Gatsby drink? Probably a martini? I mean, that famous picture, he's holding up a martini glass. So I'm guessing it's a martini? Yes, happy for January. I'm not a big fan of bullfighting either. Actually, the bullfighter getting fucked up, that's a classic thing in bullfighter movies. The bullfighter going down eventually. Maybe that happened in the Valentino movie. No. Oh, super not cool with what that lemon did to my martini. Oh, God, happy January. I thought you were making a political statement there. You're well stocked with who gives a crap. And that's actually a brand of toilet paper you get delivered. Yes. And didn't they do a lot of business in the first year of the fucking pandemic when people wouldn't stop panic buying? Right, I'm going to make myself a drink with this Texas whiskey I got. That's cheery. This one? What's in this? Geneva? No, it wasn't that one. think I will do a version of a Black Manhattan. Okay, I accidentally put something. Now I need to know what a black nail is. As a version of a rusty nail. That's whiskey, Drambuie, and honey flavored vodka. Okay. Kind of shit, quite honestly. I'm such a snob. Black nail number 2. Whiskey, Drambuie, lemon juice topped with cola. So that's a slightly interesting. Actually, that's a quite interesting bourbon and Coke. Actually, that actually sounds pretty good. A whiskey, Drambuie, lemon juice, and cola. That actually sounds pretty good, quite honestly. Ah, that is true, Salumi. Who gives a crap? Don't deliver to PO boxes. I need your residential addresses. Oh, damn. Barbie brand at work called Matador. Yeah, hate that name. Yeah, it's like meat eating's one thing, but torture of animals for entertainment is a whole new level of offensive to vegans. Anyway, I was going to do a version of a Black Manhattan. Oh, that's interesting, Abigail. You don't like the quality of the TP Who Gives a Crap producers. I'm not that familiar with it. I think we said that on a stream, didn't we? Black Manhattan's a Harlem. Okay. Now I want to look that up. Has someone made a Harlem cocktail? Harlem. It's not black. It's gin and maraschino. That is a million miles away from what I'd think for Harlem. But legend has it, it dates back to the Cotton Club in Prohibition. Gin, maraschino, and pineapple juice. That's like a light drink. The description says soft and fruity, careful, it's harder than you think. See, I don't know. I think like pineapple juice is copping out. Putting a bunch of pineapple juice in a cocktail is cheating because it's like then it's not going to taste like alcohol and it's very easy to drink. So, Invisible Chicken, are you saying to me too? You don't like the quality of the TP for Who Gives a Crap? So you No, I have actually been in like restaurants or cafes that had it in the Luz. But then again, I don't think I did poopies, so I didn't use it. I think I might intermittently just go "fuck you, lemon" during the night. I don't want to dirty into the glass. I'm gonna clean this glass, wipe the lemon oil off it, because I guess technically a Black Manhattan doesn't really go in a martini glass, Maybe I'll just do it in a coupe or a Nick and Nora or something. Just I really like these glasses. They're very stylish. Safa, should you drink tonight? That's up to you. So, Happy Vegan, you like the company they help. The company seems good. They build hygienic toilet infrastructure overseas. Yes, the company seems quite positive. Their whole ethos and whatnot seems good. Ugh. Oof. Okay. All right. I'm going to make a. Oh, I'm just thinking, of course, because a black Manhattan's usually made. Black Manhattan is usually made with a rye whiskey. I thought I'd make it with Texas whiskey, be a black Texan, but then that brings up oil in Texas, so it'd be and they call oil Texas tea. So I can make like a variant of a black Manhattan with Texas whiskey and call it a Texas tea. Oh gosh, that's a bit much. Happy January. You'd use toilet sandpaper if you had to. Oof, you're braver than me. I can remember in very desperate straits long ago using newspaper. There you go. I think that was on a camping trip. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Not something I recommend, okay? For a number of reasons. But yes, that just suddenly brought that memory back. And, oh yeah, that wasn't good. That absolutely was not good. So and then being told, oh, the newspaper might block up the plumbing, and I'm like, do you know how far down the list of my priorities that is right now? Honestly, so far down. And if someone encourages me, I might tell the grossest camping toilet story that I know. It's gross. But then again, you go camping, you get desperate. This is not the grossest story, by the way. This is a story after the experience with grossness on camping. We're camping near a river, and it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I went into the river and pants down, and it was a fast flowing river. And while I was sort of floating in the river, just took a shit in the river. And the shit floats away down the river, and then wash my ass, and it was all good. Okay, people want gross. I knew I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, or giving you the option to opt out. But I knew if I said I had a super gross camping shit story or toilet story, people would want to hear it. So, me taking a shit in the river, that is so much better than the gross thing. Because I actually did that after the gross interlude, because I thought that's not happening again. So, this was when I was living in Dubbo. This is a place just out of town. And there was actually a toilet block there. It was area where people would go swimming and sometimes camping, and I was there camping. Anyway, needed to go number 2s, okay? And I thought, my naivety, it's not the middle of nowhere, but it's obviously not very well maintained. And so I go into the toilets to take a shit, and God knows how long ago it got blocked up, but people kept shitting in it after it was blocked in. And I am not joking. There was a pyramid above the toilet bowl that was a mess of shit and toilet paper that had just been built up somewhat creatively by a bunch of people. But the smell covered in flies, and the smell was just. And I just went and I rounded the cubicle door and saw this, and I almost threw up. The smell was so bad, and also the sight of a pyramid of shit was pretty bad. Yes, Annette, you have come in at just a magic time to hear this story, and it's not over yet. Okay, so me, and I was only a teenager at this point, right? I ran out, sort of heaving, and oh my god, ugh. And I thought, well, you know what? Because there was no one else in the campground, just the people I was with. And I was going, men are disgusting. I'm going to use the ladies because girls are less disgusting than boys. And the ladies at this point are probably going, oh, you idiot. Yeah, I did not realize that at the time. So I'm going to go into the ladies because it would be nicer than the gents. And so I went into the ladies, ran into the cubicle, same pyramid, but as well as toilet paper and shit. The pyramid was quite heavily populated with really bloody tampons. So it's this fly-covered pyramid of toilet paper, shit, and bloody tampons. And okay, that was the last time I had illusions about women having higher standards than men. And so then I ran outside and heaved some more. And yeah, that's when I just went down to the river. I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna float in the river and take a shit in the river, and like wash my ass in the river, and it just all flow away. So yeah, that is, and you know, I've had a lot of dodgy as fuck public toilet experiences in my life. That was just, it's not even close. That was so far the worst one. That was so much worse than anything else I experienced. It was just, oh my god, it was so. The bit that I couldn't compute is like there was this fucking pyramid, a fucking pyramid on top of the toilet bowls. The number of people who would have had to gone like, I can tolerate this, and just the fixation with doing it in the toilet. Net digging a hole, putting a rocket. I mean, I'd just be a bear and shit in the woods at that point. Fix it, dude. Did you just come in on that conversation? Sorry. It did happen once. I was tramping in New Zealand with Mrs. Angry, and we were off the beaten track a bit, and it was this sort of mountain creek, and I was like, I abso-fucking-lutely have to shit. This is not going to wait. I'd like have to shit now. And just going, well, you know, we're in the middle of nowhere, just do it. So I actually, there was this creek and it was like a sandy bank. I actually dug a hole in the sandy mud and took a shit in the hole. I think we might have had some tissues with us. And then I covered it up. Perfect crime. Just all going back to nature. So, Visible Chicken, that's why you don't go camping. Salumi, that's why you only camp with caravan or cabins. Yep. Well, this was a fucking toilet block. I thought it would be civilized. It wasn't. absolutely wasn't. Ugh. So, yes, that was something else. That was something else. Oof. All right. I am going to make a black man. Yeah, Abigail, I think when Mrs. Angry and I did New Zealand, we had a camper van. Didn't have a toilet in it, but New Zealand has heaps of campgrounds which are really quite well maintained. So we were always okay. It's just like we were just having a bushwalk essentially, and I just got caught out. It's just like, oh, this isn't going to wait. This is not going to wait at all. So yeah. So all right, we get standing up. I can feel that. Okay. I'm not going to make any videos today. Kind of got to decide. I want to make some videos tomorrow. But with my new setup, and I'll just show you if you haven't seen it. So you see my drinks are over there now. But there's a big blank bit of wall there because we took the, what was it? Cabinet? Whatever you want to call it. So I just have to move those. And I have this beautiful blank bit of wall to shoot videos on. And because I don't have that behind me, which during the day is too much light, so I can shoot during the day. So I don't have to shoot during the live streams. So I might not disrupt the live stream tomorrow night. I might shoot the videos during the day. This is a stirred cocktail. All right, just got to rinse my stirring glass out. Okay. I really should have done the dishwasher this afternoon, but I didn't feel like it. I'll do it tomorrow. So much for all your highbrow boxes. Well, I guess what they say is true. I could never be the right kind of girl for you. I could never be your woman. All right, gonna crack some ice. So, getting some bits and bobs together. Oh, look, okay. It's not there. A bottle of vermouth can't disappear. Apple cider. It's like I say that with confidence. A bottle of vermouth can't disappear. But unless I've completely lost it, a bottle of vermouth has disappeared. Oh, this vexes me. I am vexed. This is absolutely doing my head in that I can't find a bottle of vermouth. It's fucking here. How did it end up there? It's supposed to be in the fucking fridge. Jesus. It just suddenly occurred to me I might have put the vermouth over there instead of in the fridge. And that's what happened. Well, that's that mystery solved. So, I want this vermouth and this vermouth. I'm being fancy. Motherfucker. That vermouth and that vermouth. And my Texas whiskey. I'll call this a Texas tea. Und Angostura and orange bitters. Where's my orange bitters? Where's my orange bitters? I'm still not used to the label on this bottle of orange bitters. Always takes me a while to find it. All right, and glass. This glass. All right. So, I'm going to do some ice cracking. Does this count as ASMR, me cracking ice? Do, 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 do. Because you're happy we reminded you to buy toilet paper. People are going to be panic buying soon, so if you need some, you should get some. Yeah, fix it, dude. Don't want to lose a grog. All right. Don't know if this is too harsh. A bit of... Oh, a little bit of cracking ice ASMR. I'm going to put one in the glass to chill the glass. And when I'm ready to stir the drink, I'll put it in there and put another one in as well. Okay, so this is my Texas single malt. Look how dark it is. It is so dark. It is the darkest whiskey I have. Amazingly smells like coffee and burnt toffee. Coffee toffee. It's going to be a potent drink because 2 shots of that and it's 53% alcohol. So more than 100 proof alcohol. And now I'm going to do 15 mils of Made My Nocturne. Dr. Abigail, you have a lot of toilet paper stocked up? I checked today. We have a lot. 20 rolls or something. Because I was going to the supermarket, but I thought, no, we don't need no toilet paper. Right. And 50 mils of this vermouth. Some orange bitters. Some Angostura. Oh, this is probably an excuse to have a cherry as well. I think a cherry is an acceptable garnish from Manhattan. What does the official guide say? No, that's not it. Yeah, garnish with a Luxardo cherry. Fuck yeah. I would have done it anyway. Nobody, greetings and cell mutations. Right. So, I'm going to break another bit of ice into my mixing glass. By the way, there's a far more successful ice breaking. Oh, shit. That one less so, which is kind of predictable after just saying that was a successful ice breaking. Davey504, I'm not familiar with Fix It Dude, but stay funky, bros, is a good thing to say. Right, put this one back in the fuzzer. Okay, now get some stirring ASMR. Thanks to the stirring finger Nettie gave me for Christmas 2020. Oh, nice. Davey504 is a YouTube bass player. Of course he'd say stay funky, bros, being a bass player. Just going to get a skewer for my cherry. Skewer. Oof. Oh, I did this wrong. That's not what I meant to put in. That's okay. It's going, why is this not black? Because I didn't put Amaro in there, which is what I meant to. Where's my strainer? It's a dishwasher. So much for all your highbrow Marxist ways. All right. Manhattan. It's more brown than black. I meant to do this with Amaro. It's just too late. I realized my mistake. All right. Now it needs a cherry. Life is better with maraschino cherries. Like fishing blind. I don't get one soon. Okay, I'm going to use the spoon. I'm going to use the spoon. That makes it easier. Okay. Kind of tastes like cough medicine. Cherry cough medicine, of course. All right. It's not quite right. Is it reddish brown? That's not quite right. It's not bad, though. Okay, that's interesting. That brings out the burnt notes of this Texas whiskey. I swear it almost tastes like burnt toast at the moment. Like, not in a bad way, but that's a very surreal tasting note for a cocktail. It has the characteristic of burnt toast. Micro USB, hello, it's a stick up. Give you a Vegemite and kangaroos. Careful what you wish for, man. Them kangaroos can be trouble. Happy veganmas. Tiny tongs I actually have. A spoon is actually probably the most functional way when there's more syrup than cherries, which is the current state, more syrup than cherries. Spoon's probably the easiest way to get it out. When there's more cherries in there, it's easy to skewer them because they can't move very far. Then you get less cherries in there and they can move around and they dodge your skewer as you try to blindly stab them. So, okay. This is definitely missing something. It's kind of empty. I think an Amaro would fill in the gap. Michael, you like tiny versions of normal sized things, except penises. They have their place too, tiny penises. Yeah, tiny tongs are funny. How do you maraschino a cherry? Okay, so, well, they're candied with Marasca syrup. Luxardo maraschino cherries are candied cherries with Marasca syrup. The Marasca cherry is a fruit cultivated and distilled by Luxardo for its renowned maraschino liqueur. So the cherries are called Marasca cherries, and apparently that's a term they came up with, something made of or with Marasca cherries is maraschino. That's Italiano, I believe. So yes, Luxardo make a liqueur with these cherries called maraschino. People say maraschino. I love saying maraschino because it pisses them off. Abigail, you like tiny food. I kind of like tiny food. Marco, your birthday is less than a month away. That is very exciting stuff. That sounded sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm always happy when it's someone's birthday. That's its own thing. Like I say, I feel like this would be better. I meant to make it with an Amaro and I forgot. I think it would be better with an Amaro. I don't know. Was it 920? Probably not enough time to make another one tonight. Oh, guess what? AZ never overcame his fucking technical difficulties. And he never messaged me back again an hour later. That's why I say when AZ says he's joining us, I'm always like, well, maybe. Oh, okay. Thanks, Abigail. Tiny Food's a reference to She-Ra. And Traptor, who's your fave character, likes Tiny Food. There's a weird sketch on one of the Rick and Morty multi-dimensional cable TV for a restaurant called Little Bits, where all the food's tiny. It's little bits. That's a good way to put it, nobody. When your birthday's coming up, we're commemorating another year of your existence in the world. It's a thing that's worth commemorating. Okay, I'm just going to show you. This is all the people from Little Bits in that's the Little Bits people. They have huge heads and they eat little bits of food. Nobody has some fun news. A friend of yours, niece, has been in close contact with a COVID sufferer, making you a friend potential close contact now voluntary isolation. Yeah, dude, it's the. Can you get like rapid tests in Queensland? Because you sure as shit can't get them here. Yeah, current fucking shit show. Okay, because I just got my booster, so I'm really hopeful I'm not going to contract COVID while shit's going south. So I'm hoping in a couple of weeks or a month, rapid tests are easily available again and not overpriced. And then I will get some. And yes, suffer, it is absolutely Morrison's fault. And yeah, now in Victoria, the rules have officially changed. Like, if you get a positive rapid test, assume it's positive and report it without bothering to get a PCR test. I'm looking forward to that environment, having rapid tests at home. If I have symptoms, testing. If it tests positive, just saying, yep, I have COVID. I'm going to isolate now. So there you go. Abigail's saying, oh no, did that go to New Year's Eve? But no, we're safe, nobody. It's since New Year's Eve, day before yesterday. Okay. Music over. How did we get the current COVID shit show with no test availability? Morrison's complete failure. Yeah, Salumi, I also wouldn't travel without easy access to rapid tests. Speaking of rats, was it only 5 minutes ago I said he fucked up technically and couldn't be here? And yet, here he is.
I greet you, good people. I greet you. I greet you. I mostly greet you, and I mostly greet also you. But I wanted to say that when your cardigan's in a lot of trouble, and it feels like it's just being pulled out strand by strand, your cardigan is in a lot of trouble, and it's being pulled out strand by strand. Like the hymn tells us, if you want to destroy my sweater, just take a string and I'll walk away. Mostly I've had a fucked time, and to cap it all off, couldn't get it together to get on the stream, which was going to be the high point of my day. And I've got 35 minutes to fucking really go hard. But I say hello to you also, Angry. And I am playing with myself under the desk so that no one can see it. And I'll describe various different things that are going on. Machines, objects, various different moistures. Moistures with a apostrophe at the end. It's the moisture's stickiness. Apostrophe at the end of moistures. Correct usage there, you'll note. And mostly also you'll see me down a couple of these, which will slow me right the fuck down in about 20
minutes. Medication.
I haven't been around for a while, and I'm really, really sorry. But I've been dealing with some awkwardness that has invaded my space, time, and curriculum. There's things I have to do for Angry that are not getting done, and I'm ropeable about that. There's things that I have to get done for us, but mostly it's my baby. But it's going to make us, let's face it frankly, a shitload of cash. And there's something I've got to get done for the best man at my wedding. And I have been at it for 3 years now. And it doesn't look like it's coming off the bottom of the pile anytime soon. So, heavy mind bombs and bread. Should be interesting.
Okay.
And I've just discovered that my teeth are loose. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm just going to quickly go this way so you can't see what's going on. But you can still hear me because the range on this Bluetooth thing is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Sounding good.
And I'm going to get the glue of Jesus. And I say that because it's made basically of paraffin wax and a flavorant, but mine hasn't got. Oh, I showed you my nether regions, didn't I? I apologise. Thanks, cunt. Well, I was going to stay. Might as well just do my teeth and eat my fucking dinner then. Such that it is. Fuck you. Thanks, man, for the feed line. That was awesome. It was fucking cool. It was perfect. Oh, I love you so much. Yeah, so I'm sorry I've been away, but it's been fucking a little hectic here. You can see by the puffiness of my fucking face that no. Lots of fucking no has happened. On top of the social shit that's going down, and the legal shit that has just happened. How did I get involved in the legal shit? How did that happen? Anyway, apart from the legal shit which has just happened, I also got a tummy bug. It's one of those 3-day numbers. And yesterday was the heaviest day. On your heavy days, remain close to the toilet so the sluice gates can open at both ends and you won't be embarrassed or have to clean up too much shit from your sink and vanity. You know those bits where you're on the toilet and you go, I'm spewing, but can I get around quick enough to get this other end down before I spray it across my bathroom? And you can, as long as you leave the seat up.
Oh, fuck.
It's a quick tip from Aidsy.
Yeah.
One that I hope you'll never have to fucking use. Because I tried it a couple times previous to that and found that no, the cleanup is just horrendous. Because you can get around quick enough, but it's all over your seat and various different parts of your toilet. Have you ever noticed how difficult? Just think this through. Have you ever noticed how actually difficult a toilet is to clean? To get into the little tiny crevices where anything can go, and I say anything, and I mean shit and urine, into the crevices between the different lids and the crevices between the seat fixtures. Have you ever noticed how actually difficult it is to clean that shit out? Why did they design that crap that way? Why isn't it some kind of fucking uni piece, fucking slide in, crank up? I think the Japanese should get the fuck on this because they are
They
deeply
probably
into
have.
toilets. They are deeply, deeply into toilets, right? I reckon there should be some kind of, how you got that aperture thing that you move and it closes the aperture. Down at the art shop in my street, they've got one for making circles. And I just thought, that's too much. They've also got a brass pencil sharpener that you can adjust the angle on. And I'm going, that's too much. And they've got a ruler which has on it legs so that you can score circles. Well, how will you know the diameter of those circles? What you do is you take the line on the folding legs part, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you take a line from the middle across to what you consider to be the edge of the this is just mind blowing. What you consider to be the edge of the ruler, right? So it's circle, start on this side, taken
Yeah.
to this side, and down that way to the ruler.
Yeah.
No, down this way.
Yeah.
Fuck, get it right. This way, down this way to the ruler. Okay, on that, right? You'll read a measurement mark. The colours on the wheel tell you the points to which you have to add or subtract. So you can get a 7.47 circle on your compass, and then you can draw your 7.7 on your aperture machine. Anyway, what I figured was the Japanese should get into an aperture style toilet, right? Where it can open right up for your gentlemen who need to urinate and then close right down for your ladies who don't like the lid open at any time at all, ever. Because, they don't have down the bottom functions. And then it will secretly open enough for them and secretly open enough for you to have a crap in there. And it will also measure your bum with lasers
Right.
because you have to have lasers in there somewhere. And it'll go,
Yes.
oh, Edsy, the fat motherfucker's back. Open up really wide, but don't make the noise of clicking at the end.
So
And
you
you
want basically a sapient toilet that is not just measuring your size, but is reading your emotional output to understand what's coming. So it makes one adjustment based on measuring you with lasers, and another adjustment because it's like it's measuring the clamminess of your skin and your pulse rate and the dilation of your pupils, and it's going, this is big, this is very big, we need to prepare for this. So that's your ultimate toilet, one that both measures you physically and also accommodates you mentally and emotionally.
You nailed it. But I was also thinking, let's not fuck around. We'll have test kits um, that you can replace in the system that basically measure the water. It'll have to be the water around your solid and liquid waste, and go, time for you to go off to the doctor, my friend. I've measured some things that don't like. And you go, I'm not going to the doctor. Well, I've asked you for the fourth time now, so that iris is staying closed until I get a certificate. And you go,
That's
well,
all we need. Judgmental
me.
toilets is all we
Well, I
need.
mean, they already are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't they? They sit there and they go, you reckon you're going to get your ass in this? Do you reckon you're going to get your frontal parts and your ass in this at the same time?
Oh, I
Um,
think sometimes they deliberately put the seat at the wrong angle. So you're
hmm.
sitting, you think you're sitting comfortably, but piss shoots out between the bowl and the fucking seat. It's
What the fuck is that? That
yeah.
blows my mind and makes me of the fury and righteous anger of the Lord. That really blows me out of the water for fury. Because I'll be sitting there going, oh, I've made it to the what is this? My comfortable half an hour of meditation is fucked. Because now I've got to find mopping rags and fucking cleaning products. You know, this thing that was going to take me half an hour is now going to take me half an hour because I'm going to spend 10 minutes actually using the device, and the 20 minutes I was going to have to myself, gone. Gone. Um, and you can imagine, well, you've seen me in that mood. You've
Yeah.
seen me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. It's not
No,
pretty.
it's not pretty. Abigail actually brought up this is a real thing. Some manufacturer in the United States was proposing toilets for workplaces, which were not flat. They were actually on this angle that is uncomfortable for workers, so the
Fuck you.
workers would not sit on the toilet for a long time. And that's just so fucking disturbing. Hi,
That is
Justin.
so American too.
I'm going to
Hey,
depart for
Justin.
like 1 minute to let AZ rant for a minute, and I'll be back in a minute.
Well, okay. So, I am fucking diving off the wagon tonight, and I'm taking way too many drugs tonight. Um, which is one. Um, woo! Adrian was on a bender. He took one extra drug. Um, like, you know, these things tend to make you very, very stoned. Because they are anti-anxiety medicines, and they're very, very strong. Um, very, very strong. And you take enough of them, you won't remember the last 2 days. Trust me, you're conscious and doing shit. You won't remember what you did, and it's often very unpleasant. I've lost two really good friends. Um, I never had a job, but I had. I've been actually banned from two shops because I was getting used to the new regime of the drugs, and yeah, don't come back. Fuck. One of them, I actually went back 6 months later and said, "So you kicked me out 6 months ago, and I've honoured that. Can you tell me why?" And he's looked at me and gone, all right, well, this is this and this is that and this is what you did and this is why you did it and this is and she will never work here again. I'm going, oh, fuck, that is bad. That is very bad. I had a tenant in my block of flats come to me and say, with a supportive other tenant friend, and say, right, last time we spoke, you said some really disparaging things about my vagina. And I'm going, fucking kill me now. I just want to die. Um, and I thought I could go into what exactly did I say, and I just went, no, just apologize, and offer to eat glass. So I basically said I just can only offer. She said I probably I by the looks of it you have no recollection of these events. And I went, while I don't, I simply offer you my unmitigated apology. I have no nothing but respect for you. And I know that's hard to swallow with what you've seen. And I really wanted this person as a long term friend because she was really interesting and really fucking into the kinds of stuff I'm into, like astrology and astronomy. Astrology in the sense of the old Greek version, like which gods ruled which houses, and it because of you got to think about seasons, okay? So you've got to have a god of the harvest, which has got to be a god of not sunshine, but a god of weather,
God of
ominous
thunder
weather.
and rock and roll. Sorry,
Well,
that's something
thunder and
else.
rock and roll is summer.
Yeah.
Is the beginning of summer, and then you've got the god of sunshine, which is the growing of the bits of slaves they call crops, and then you get the god of the harvest, and then you get the god of the blah blah blah, and then, and then you time, and ancient people have always timed, have always, well, they've done it for a couple million fucking years, so they, I'll say always, have timed their year according to where the sun rises on the horizon, which mountain it arises, because they've figured out it goes round. Um, and then the beginning of the year it rises over that sun, that peak or that valley. Because there's so many fucking buildings around the world where you only get the sun come in on solstice. You only get
How
the sun come in on.
how many different cultures have got a thing one day of the year, a shaft of light hits the altar in the center of the temple? The
Yeah.
Celts, the Druids, South America, Asia, Africa, India. There are all these different
Australia.
cultures that, yeah, Australia, they have,
Australia's
because they,
got two solstices. They've fucking worked out the second one.
yeah,
And there's places you can go where the rocks in caves line up, and they know there's one in South Australia, and they won't tell you where it is because they're afraid that people will go and vandalise it.
yeah,
And you can see, I've seen this on a video, right? There's a rock, there's a natural rock formation which lines up neatly with the winter solstice, but there's one that's been clearly cut. It's been clearly bashed out, yeah,
yeah,
and the points of light hit certain paintings, which have been redone and redone for thousands of years. They want
yeah,
that shit to be there,
yeah,
and you know, you got to understand that your Kuru culture wasn't deeply into time the way we're into time. They were into deep
that they saw
time.
it differently. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they all, once you've experienced something, it's real and it's always real.
Mm.
So
Yeah, so that's it.
people who are dead are still here
Mm.
because, well, I had an interaction with them. that interaction hasn't ceased to exist.
So
They're still
why
here.
wouldn't they be
Their
around?
experience of time is different. I'm trying to think. There was a film from the 90s. I think it was Until the End of the World, it was called. But when you said the thing about, our First Nations being worried if their most sacred place was found, someone would fuck it up. Well, they're only basing that on experience, essentially.
Well, they're whinging about, fucking 9 out of 10 fucking commonality events. They could shut the fuck up about it because 1 out of 10 times, or should I say 1 out of 30 times, their sacred places are not fucking jackhammered and bulldozed and smashed by fucking. Anyway, it's just a thing. I tend to
Yeah.
get a little passionate
Oh,
about.
yeah. No, I was looking up this film. It's a Wim Wenders film. You know, that weird fucking German director who did a bunch of stuff in the 80s and
Wim
90s?
Wenders was a fine man. I met him once in a nightclub
Yeah.
in Berlin.
The thing with
It
the
was called the
angels.
Shaft Hole.
Yeah, that sounds like somewhere that is A, in Berlin, and B, somewhere Wim Wenders would hang out. But Until the End of the World ended up in Australia. And it's this whole thing, everyone's paranoid there's going to be a nuclear war. And they're trying to track things down. And they find this thing that can actually record dreams, and you can re-experience dreams. And some of these people kind of get addicted to it. But they're in Cooper Pedy, and some of the local folk were like, oh, okay, now you're trying to steal our dreaming. You've stolen everything else. Why the fuck? And so all the Aboriginal people fuck off and just go, screw all you white people. You're trying to steal the last thing we have, our dreaming. And which was for a European art house director to work a thing like that into his film was pretty fucking good, I
Fucking
thought.
good.
Um,
And he
but
missed
yeah,
he missed the contextual meaning. But I give him fucking 20 points, right? Because
yeah.
he understood about the hurt and the stealing. You can't actually steal the dreaming, but the idea that you've stolen the last of the sacristy
Yeah.
is pretty alive and well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh,
And that was did you see there was a series on ABC a couple of years ago? There was 2 seasons. It was called Clever Man. You've seen Clever Man. We talked about Clever
I
Man.
never seen Clever Man. I just know bits and
Okay.
pieces about it.
Okay. I watched it. I liked it. The pace was a bit slow for my taste, and they never finished it. I thought they were going to keep doing it. There were 2 seasons because it was picked up by like HBO or one of the American things. It was pretty good, but in a very early episode, there was a dude, the Aboriginal guy, and he's on a TV network, and because the people from the Dreaming, the hairy people, have come back. The people who've been lost for millennia have come back, and they are bigger and stronger and and my
I was
particular
going to
favorite
say
is.
they wouldn't fit in.
No. My personal favorite is Briggs, the rapper, plays one of the hairy people because he's a huge motherfucker. So, and you've got this whole thing where the white people are very paranoid about the hairy people. And there's this guy who's a spokesperson for the Aboriginal people is being interviewed on TV, and they're going, well, weren't they bad in your legends? And he's going, no, you're misinterpreting this and the other. And he's going, but, I read a thing about Dreamtime stuff. And I thought, oh my God, are they fucking up and saying Dreamtime instead of dream? And then this guy interrupts her and saying, don't say Dreamtime, it's the dreaming. The dream time suggests it's stopped. The dreaming is something that is still happening. And they did it really well. And I think you like this, the central thing in who's going to be Clever Man, because Uncle Charlie is
Gets to choose.
the clever man, and he has to pass it on to someone. And there's these 2 half brothers. The guy who's, he's the dude. He's the leader of the community. He's out there speaking and whatnot. And he has a half brother because his dad banged a white woman, and he's never really liked his half brother who's half white. But the clever man power passes to this half-white brother. And so there's this great family shit going on top of everything else with the white people and the
See,
black
I have
people.
never heard of that in an Aboriginal community.
Yeah.
Never.
Mm.
Never has there been a family fight that went
Yeah.
for maybe 1,000 years.
Yeah.
That's never happened and
you,
continues not to happen
yeah.
today
You
in
know
townships
where
across Australia and
Yeah,
in
you
our
know where I
cities.
first heard of that? With the Warumpi Band. That's AZ and I from the 80s, early 90s. The Warumpi Band
And
were a great
I know
band,
of which you speak.
mainly Aboriginal guys, but one white guy who was in it as well. But when I was reading, and they toured with Midnight Oil, and then there was this whole shit happening where George Warumbu, who was the black singer in the band, I forget the white guy's name who was also a singer, but he's like, I can't go to here because of a thing that happened with my cousins. And Gary Foley, who was a city black fella, he was a political black fella from Redfern in Sydney, and he'd come out to the community and got up to people's nose, and some shit happened. And so there was then this like, no, dude, if I fucking go there, someone's gonna fucking spear me. And they're going like, could we stop that? And go, no, it would happen because it has to happen. So the only way it doesn't happen is if I don't go there. So it's just like, fucking hell.
I mean, it's like
that was
there
my
are
first
so
thing to that
many,
family thing.
there are so many people in this country
Yeah.
who have the choice, the serious choice of going, I can go to a place and take my spearing.
Yeah.
Because often, I'm not saying all the time at all, often the punishment is a spearing. So you'll get a spear through the leg or the arm or the
Usually,
shoulder.
yeah, it's the leg or the arm.
Right.
It's a non-life-threatening thing.
It's not. It's a non-life-threatening thing. But Jesus fuck, at the time you think you're dying.
Oh no, it hurts. It hurts.
Right? It really fucking hurts. And you want to be sort of subtly in having a helicopter waiting over the other hill. Because you'll really want a lot of good stuff because it will hurt you.
Yeah.
People have been known to die of shock.
Oh, because those jagged fucking spears when they get, yeah. But
It's
it
not-
was so hilarious. It's like, because George Warumbu was the remote people. He was the Northern Territory remote people. Gary Foley's a city bloke, but he had some cousins there. And there was a fight which involved a physical element between his family and Gary Foley's family. And he's just like, I'm basically the highest profile person in my family, and if we
So,
go there,
it's on me.
someone from Gary Foley's family is going to spear. And Midnight Oil are going, what?
Yeah, they're all. Midnight Oil have said they got more of a fucking education traveling with the Warumpi Band than they ever did just visiting townships.
Yeah.
Actually, it was after the Warumpi Band tour that they actually got a little bit serious about it, and then Blue Sky Mine came out, and it's like, there's a lot of very interesting fucking words in there. Anyway, one of the story I heard was a guy wanted to marry a woman. Yeah. Okay, and they wanted to do it properly, and so they checked out their skin groups, and their skin groups lined up.
Yeah.
And then they checked out the family histories, and then it was obvious that his family was going to receive a spearing if he turned up at her parents' place. And he's gone, oh, I love this woman and I want to marry her, which would mean if I do that, it would mean her never coming home to see her mother again. Yeah. I cannot make her choose between me and her parents. I can't do that. That's not right. So he's rung up her dad and said, so it's like this. I want to marry your daughter, but I understand that a man from my family needs a spearing. So I figured Saturday week, what do you reckon? And he went, no, that's no good because the footy's on and we're out of town. Saturday after? He went, oh, I've got more time to think about it. And he went, all right.
But you know what you're saying? That's Romeo and Juliet. that's Romeo and Juliet, two houses.
Yeah.
And
But
how
the
often does
thing
that story repeat?
the thing is that what happened was he rocks up, he gets naked, and they're all very happy to see that he's initiated, and that will mean things to other people. Doesn't matter. Um, they're all very happy to see that because they were very happy to initiate him then and there.
With a sharp
um,
rock. Ooh, 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 ooh.
um, oh,
Yeah.
anyway, he rocks up, and this old man comes and hands a young man a spear, and he's going, "Oh, for fuck! Okay, deal." And the young man, who's like built like a built like a Kuri warrior, which is larger than a house. And because you look at these guys, guests who almost went to work with a bag of legal recreational marijuana in their coat pocket. I couldn't tell. Where's that smell coming from? Not me.
But that was the old joke of how to smoke a joint in a public space and get away with it, like a
Hmm.
bar. You take a hit, and then you just look around like, where's that coming
What's
from?
that smell?
Can you
The
smell it?
fuck's
I
that
can smell
smell
it.
coming from?
And so,
I don't know.
if you're like everyone else looking for it, no one thinks it's coming from you.
So then he rocks up. He doesn't come the third Saturday. He comes the first Saturday, right?
Mm.
And there's only like 4 days to go, and they madly scramble and get everything together. And the old man hands the spear to the young man, the warrior, and the warrior says, "Come close," and he whispers, "Where do you want it, man? Where do you want it?" He goes, "Oh, leg, maybe." I went, "Oh, yeah, no, I can get your leg pretty good. Yeah, no, it should be okay. I'm, I've only done two of these, and I'll try not to fuck it up, all right?" So he was sort of, he said at that moment his breathing calmed, right? Like it wasn't going to be, because they can really fucking hurt you. Even if it's in a non-lethal place, they can really fucking hurt you. Um, and this spear goes almost all the way through. It was hell on wheels. And then the phone call started up, and there's this huge corroboree inviting
Yeah,
their family to the district for the coming together and the smoking and the bringing back together of the ancestors. And the
yeah,
wedding was attended by 1,000 people. 1,000 people showed up at the
yeah,
wedding.
yeah,
Um, and my mate said, "I don't know any of them. I don't know where they've come from." So apparently, people were coming from a long way away. There were flights that had to happen because these two, um, well, it sort of grew to be nations. Were now
yeah,
back together again, and he'd taken his responsibility. He'd taken his spearing. Everything was sorted. It was sorted.
yeah.
We were good. And the political people of one got together with the political people of the other and said, "We now have." It's almost as if a large pointy foreign object penetrating your flesh is painful. Doesn't have to be. Can
Yeah.
be.
But
It's a
these spears
choice thing.
also have the barbs on them. Another one that's suddenly sprang to mind. I almost hate referring to movies, but it's what I always do. An old Brian Brown movie called The Dead Heart,
Oh,
where he's the copper in
oh,
remote Northern Territory, and an
oh,
opening scene.
harsh.
They've had a guy die in custody, and so the
Mm,
family and because Brian Brown's deputy is Indigenous, and they hold
mm,
him responsible, and it's like this is about to get ugly. Or the deputy says, or I could let him spear me, and that actually settles the debt. And Brian Brown
Brian
goes,
Brown
that's
goes,
fine. And
"No."
and and basically the central thing of the whole movie is Brian Brown not quite getting it.
Yeah.
Because he has a thing with one of the local elders who says like, "Oh look, just get me some of that government money and get me a new Toyota Land Cruiser." And Brian Brown's like, "That's
Fucking
bullshit.
God.
What do you do?" And and there's a payoff for that. But the whole movie is basically Brian Brown, white copper, never quite getting it. Like everything just being this far to the side of what he understands, and he ends up losing because he can never quite understand what's happening with the local people. He's trying to say no, I'm going to be, what his stuff never works,
Mm.
and it's always the local people work it out between themselves, and
And
he's
they
going,
always do.
and he's like, that's not right, and all his ideas just never work.
Yeah.
And it starts off in
There
a
was
very early scene with his deputy getting speared. Yeah.
there's a situation in northwestern South Australia. In fact, probably Western Australia, probably Northern Territory, just in that zone. Yeah, in that zone. So a woman was murdered. Um,
Mm-hmm.
everybody fucking knew who it was.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Mm.
And the police went, right, instead of going and arresting this individual, what we're going to do is we're going to ask the headman of two clans for their best trackers, and we're going to ask the clever men of two clans, would they please sing songs to help them and help their trackers find the appropriate party. And the headmen of both clans came together and said, we accept
Proposal. Proposal.
we accept your not asking, your not plea, your
Anyway, I'm also going to go to bed now, and I'm just going to
yeah,
answer
we accept
Micro
it, and
USB. Micro
he
USB
basically
asked if I'm doing Angry Bunch tomorrow night. Yes, I am. So you, young lad, need to get some sleep so you're up early enough to participate.
very, it's 10 seconds long.
Yeah.
Basically, thank you very much for asking. And yes, you may have these people. Everybody knows who it is. The trackers actually tracked down an accomplice, which they didn't know about. And the right people were arrested, and they were taken to the lockhouse. Lockhouse was almost destroyed before the helicopters came in and got them out of there. And it went well. And the coppers were invited to the corroboree afterwards, and the sorry time was had, and the sorry time was finished, and they had a lot more cooperation, and it went well for a change. It fucking went well for a change. Everyone got on like a society, and so yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn.
Yes. Yeah.
Love your guts. See you later. Sorry about the tech.
See you later. I'm going to go sleepy bobos. Back for a bit of a party night tomorrow night, and we will do
Hope
an
so.
Angry Bunch. So whoever's around, see you then. Until then,